Good morning to Monday, another week. Ugh, excuse me, I'm chilly. And I'll be chilly. I probably should have put on a heavier sweater. Um, we're going to focus today on mid back. Okay. Now, we work a lot with the core, we work with shoulders, we work with hip, but very rarely do we concentrate on this area. And this seems to be an area where a lot of people have back issues. It's an area that we don't really stretch that much. So that's going to be our focus today. Along with that is a particular breathing method that allows the oxygen to go into that area. Now, I can't talk and do this breath work at the same time because I'm just not that good. I did it a few times over the weekend. So after we take a few minutes laying on our back, and connecting with our breath, trying to relax our body down, ground to our floor. I'll demonstrate the breathing technique. That's the first thing we're going to do before we really move into any yin poses, and that's to allow the yin poses that we're going to do to work on that area of the body today. Okay, so let's lay on our back and just stretch out. Oh, take some of your normal breathing in and out, whatever pattern your body uses. Take a few minutes to lay here, slow the breath down, let the body relax. Let gravity pull you down to your mat. Be grateful that you were able to attend to your mat this morning, weather at all. How about just shake out your feet a little bit? Put your hands above your head. Give your spine and your body a nice big morning stretch. Lift your hands to the sky. Move your arms around a little. Get the fluid flowing within the body. Come back down to a rest. Take a couple breaths. Okay, I'm going to interfere with your um, rest pose and ask you to sit up. I'm going to demonstrate a new breathing technique that's geared towards the part of the back that we want to work with today. And I really chuckled with this because we're always working with our core and pulling our core in. And here's a chance for us to let our core hang out, which is really kind of silly. But you'll feel your back being able to lay flatter on your mat. So we're going to breathe in, and when we breathe in, we're going to push our belly up. But when we push our belly up, we want to focus on keeping our shoulders flat and the center between your shoulders down through your spine. Focus that on laying flat on the way out. So I'll demonstrate one or two, and then I'll let everybody lay down and take 10 of them on your own. So breathing in is see the belly rise, and then the breathing out. We're not supposed to hold it, but I'm just demonstrating. So you breathe in, the belly rises. Now, when you breathe out, bring the back of those shoulders, and from the back, from here up, push down into your mat. So I'll do another one. move my hands out of the way so you can see, I hope, this part of the body go down to the mat. So I'll do one more. Belly rises out. Okay, so there's no holding. Repetition is out, in, out. And I chose 10 because I think it's probably going to take you a good 3 or 4 to latch on to this breathing method. So go ahead and try to take 10 on your own and then gather any questions you may have about this breath work. Push that belly up. Lower that back. Okay. That took a lot of concentration. I lost count. It's a very interesting breath work. I did it, like I said, a few times over the weekend. We will do it again because I was unaware of how important it is to release the core. It allows the spine and the back to flatten on the mat. So we've just worked that area really pretty hard if you really concentrated on the breath. So we're going to go into an easy twist here this morning. Just bring your knees up, lay on your hip, bring your left leg over, down to the ground. Now keep in mind when you do a twist, this twist in particular, you want to be sure your shoulders stay flat on your mat. And you can do that by bringing them up to TP pose, if that works for you. If you don't enjoy your knee hanging out in the air, feel free to put a block or a prop under it. Remember in Yin, as we breathe into this pose, the edge of it may be to bring that knee closer to the floor. Oh, I gotta see where we're at. Okay, stretch out that spine. Relax. Check your edge, see if your knee goes down farther. Don't worry about your feet being flexed or pointed, they just need to be relaxed. Arms relaxed. Breath should have slowed down some now, by now. We're almost there. Untwist your body. Oh, relocate your hips. Take a nice big stretch. Lower the back. And perhaps you want to bring your knees in. Just give the spine a nice rock back and forth, moving the fluid. Now we have to move our twist to the right. So bring your legs at a 45. Shoulders are flat. Right leg goes over the left leg. Again, if your knee is hanging out in the air, you may want to put a block under it or a blanket. This is not my best side. My shoulder is a hair off of the mat, so I need to probably prop up my hip a little bit, which means my knee, and your knee may also be pointing more towards the ceiling instead of rocking hip down. So I need to really breathe into this edge from my body to relax into this twist. Time to check your edge. See if your body can move flatter to the floor. Shoulders are nice and relaxed by now. Keep your breath, focus it on the mid back, sending the fluid there, sending the energy there. And cross your knees. Do a full body stretch. Bring your knees in, and let's just float up and down a few times. with a bridge, rolling the spine all the way down, vertebra by vertebra, starting at the top, all the way down to the tailbone. You're going to sit up. And we're going to move into a forward fold. And the thing about this forward fold is that's nice is you can use as many props as you want. It's a counter pose to the one that we were just doing for our back. So I'm going to sit in easy pose. You may want blocks. I do, because you need to hinge from your hips, not from your shoulders. So my body's not too good at that. So that's why I need to sit up tall and use props. Okay. Do your forward fold. Put your hands out. Put your head on the block. Unless you're pliable enough to go all the way to the floor. This is a counter pose to the spine, allowing the spine to just rest comfortably in a forward motion. Enjoying the stillness, listening to your breath in and out. We're almost there. Perhaps you can round a little more by extending your hands out or taking your block and lowering it or removing it. Pushing yourself up, setting your props aside. We're going to bring our feet out. Oh, socks. All these clothes to Dandasana. Sitting tall. You may be up on a prop. Bring your feet out. Your hands behind you. Shoulders are down. Just sitting tall, breathing deep, keeping the torso nice and straight, as if that's the only part of the body that you have. Watch that your shoulders don't climb up around your ears, so you can be a little fidgety with this pose in correcting it. It can be a difficult pose to sit for 3 minutes. I enjoy feeling the back of my legs ground deeper and deeper to the floor, feeling my breath getting deeper and deeper, all the way down to the belly. Lots of back work today. Legs are together, knees are touching. Nice and still. We're almost there. You want to just kind of move your neck around a little bit as it's been sitting, the base of your neck has been sitting on that active, straight spine. Move your feet a little. Come out of the pose. Let's just give our legs a good massage this morning. Down the inside, up the outside. Give yourself a hug. And the other way. Shaking your shoulders back and forth, moving the spine back and forth. We're going to move into an extended child's pose. So in child's pose, you bring your toes together and your knees go out almost to each side of your mat. Now, depending on how forward you can fold, some people like to take a bolster in this particular yin pose and lay over the bolster, allowing the chest to come to the mat. Because that's the goal, is to get the chest flat on the mat. I'm going to try to work without a bolster this morning. Forehead's on the floor. Hands are extended. Remember, for those of you that have trouble bending your knees this way, you can always put a little block or a little blanket or a rolled up mat behind your knees. It softens the squat. I'm sure you can really feel the rise and fall of the belly in this pose. Perhaps the edge will let you move your arms a little bit more forward. And bring yourself up. We're going to take ourselves to all fours, do a couple cat cows. Before you go there, bring your blocks to the top of your mat because you're going to need them for the next pose. So let's do it. A couple cat cows. Working the fluid up and down the spine, all through the hips. Extending the neck forward. And bring yourself all the way down to your belly. And we're going to do an extended sphinx pose this morning, which is where you need your blocks. So the pose will be like this once you're into it, closing your hands. Now, if that is too much of an extension for you, feel free to take a blanket, roll it up, and allow your hips to rest on the blanket. Feet are flat, or your feet are flat on the top of your feet. Your legs are extended straight. Both hips are flat. It's a nice stretch all through the front of the body. Since we've been focusing most of this class on stretching out the back. You can keep your hands folded, allowing the warmth and the energy to travel back and forth from the left to the right to the left. Closing down your eyes. Readjust your neck a little bit. Make sure that the head is resting on the top of the spine. Shoulders are down a little bit, not up around the ears. Front of the chest is extended very forward and up. Remove your blocks. Come down on your chest, resting your chin in your hands, allowing the front of your spine to just relax into the mat for a moment after the extension that you just did for 3 minutes. It's time to let the area relax. Let's push ourselves up. Find your seated position that you like. Our last pose of the day will be one that we did last week, and only because it was a new pose and some people had some questions and a little bit of problem with it. So I felt that we should do it again. And that was just basically toes are bent under, rear end stays high in the air. You bring your arms forward and your chest to the ground. And it's called an extended puppy pose. And a lot of people had some trouble with this, including myself. So I felt it was something that we should do again this week, just to stay familiar with the pose and all the benefits of it. I don't know that resting on a block is going to help. It may, only because you don't have to use muscles through your chest area to hold yourself up. I'm not going to hold this pose too long. It's a new pose. I had no idea how intense it was. But it certainly is elongating our bodies, right? Extended puppy pose. I'll let everybody move out of the pose when they're ready. I'm moving out a little bit early because I did it yesterday and I really felt it through my lower back. That was the whole point of this class, was to stretch out the lower back. But you don't want to stretch it to where you feel pain. If you are holding it for the 3 minutes that's recommended, you still have A minute and 10 seconds to go. It's pretty intense. So as you go about your day, reflect back on the balloon belly, as we can call it, and take a minute, sit in a chair or lay down on the ground, push the belly up, bring the center of the back down. Inhale and exhale. You guys made it. Very proud of you. um, we would do a qigong close, and then I'll open up for any questions because s- some of this was kind of intense today. So, right hand is in a fist, left hand is over. May you be safe and free of harm. Thank you for joining me this morning. I send you off today and this week with all the best we have to offer. Namaste.